Hey everybody, welcome back to G4G on YouTube. Today we're in Marvel Avengers Alliance, and we're taking a look at the third build that I've got a hold of. And, excuse me, this is Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux, let's be clear about that. This is the third build that I've gotten a hold of, which is build .002. This build, as you can see, has got a little bit of difference in it in that there are hero selectors and encounter selectors. So I want to get this out of the way right away because this is an inevitable question, and if it isn't dealt with, it's going to get asked. This is only an alpha product. What you see here with these choices are so that playtesters can help Goofy see the results of testing on other machines and hardware and see if we get the lockups where he does, so on and so forth. The eventual release will not look like this. You're not going to have crazy hero selections right in the middle. It will look like the original game, minus, or with the addition of some font controls. You're not going to see this over here. And let's also get a couple of other questions out of the way that have been asked a lot recently. So, one of the common questions I get is, what happened to everybody's user data? Will we see their progress and accounts and everything in Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux when it actually goes out? The answer has been put forth in many videos and answered in many videos, but I'll put it here verbally again. No. We do not have access to the original player data that existed on Facebook. And if you think about it, if you just for one moment ever stopped and actually thought, I want to ask this question, but wait a minute, let me be smart about this, you will realize that it would be a very dangerous thing if we had access to the Facebook data. The reason being is we would have access to several personally identifiable pieces of information for you. Now, when you did purchases, it would go through Facebook's game control area, but there could potentially be revelations about yourself in the old Facebook account data. So, A, it has never been made public. B, it would be kind of dangerous if we did ever have that. C, you wouldn't want anybody other than Playdom and Facebook to have had that data. I don't know how much exactly Playdom's product knew about things like credit card information, everything like that, but there would also be purchase history. So yes, everybody is going to reset to square zero. However, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Yes, a lot of us left the game as what's called Super Spartans. They're people who have hit 300 and then flipped their 300 over several times for the gold. Also, a Super Spartan applies to people who ended with all 15s. Now, granted, I was not ever going to be in line to do that by that date if they didn't increase the gold and the silver and everything that they did down the stretch, but I was getting very close before all of the extra money was given to us. The main categories that mattered, like blasters and tacticians and bruisers, were definitely all 15s. I was working on the weaker ones like generalists, scrapper, and infiltrators at the time. As you know, based on the amount of characters that you have in a particular class, you got bonuses based off of it. So blasters gave you attack power, bruises gave you defense, scrappers gave you accuracy. You could manipulate through uniforms who went where. So if you were running a very dot-heavy PvP team, either on offense or defense, you would skew your people more towards bruisers and tacticians for higher stamina, higher defense, and hit points. If you were running like Spitlord teams, Spitfire and Star-Lord, Rocket, and Noir, all of those teams, then you tended to run more accuracy, so more scrappers and more attack from blasters. So that's also what a Super Spartan was, is somebody who had all 15s, and I ended the game with that. And I also had a couple years worth of Ada finishes when the game ended, so there are people like me who could be sad to lose their progress because we were so far into the game. But then again, if we did somehow have that database, or we got that progression back, if we emulated, if we like hacked the code and gave us those characters and those levels, then this game honestly would mean far less to get it back, because it's, you know, who buys Final Fantasy VII in the store and basically goes into the crater level at the end of the game and is maybe like 3 fights away from Sephiroth? Like, why would you do that? It's boring. Even if you play the game back in 1997, 98, and you completed it, and say you get it now on the PS4 or a PSP or PC on Steam, who wants to jump right to the end like that? And like, oh yay, it's Sephiroth, he's dead, woo. I mean, it's so, everybody hitting the big reset switch and being at 0 is a good thing, because we're all on even footing, and people who got to come later in the game and be like, oh man, I never got the Mystic, I never got the Cube, I never got the Emerald Prism. Everybody's now on equal footing, which is really, really good. So, if you hit these fists over here, you get to change what heroes are going to drop into the fight. So I'm going to go 4, 3, 5, 6, and we're going to do encounter 2. We're going to see what we get. So, it's Hawkeye, Colossus, and Black Cat versus Ironclad, and this is fight number 2, or ID number 2. Quick actions are enabled in this one, and the order of the abilities are fixed back to normal. However, I still think enemy damage is still kind of high, and you're going to find out that Ironclad is gonna bleed.
I am man of steel, you are man of stone. Good fight.
So, as you can see here, Hawkeye does pinpoint on him. He is gonna get a debuff. So he's up to 3 now, and the quick action gives me my turn back. So we're gonna hit him with Sure Shot, sure to make a body drop. Of course, that's Rage Against the Machine. Then you had the original Beastie Boys, Mike D, come rocking the Sure Shot. I believe this is Colossus tanking. Steel Curtain.
My arms are made of steel.
And that's actually quick action, so that's good. Decimate was always fun. It's kind of interesting how Colossus was always kind of vanilla and boring throughout the game's history, and then he enjoyed that little rebirth period of P5 Emma Frost and P5 Colossus back when Emma had those pre-counters with the psychic tap, and how good Colossus was at protecting her for that. Okay, so that fight went pretty well. We did complete it. And everything has now reset. So we're going to go, let's try Hero 8, 5, 1, Encounter 8. Let's see what we get. So 8, 5, 1, 8. We have kind of what could have been somewhat of an early PvP team over here of original Daredevil, dropping the D's, Merman, Captain America outfit. I always call them Merman, Captain America because they look like scales on the upper portion, and Iron Man. So that's Radar Sense over here, not yet enabled. Meaning not yet enabled for the fight. It is enabled in the game. So we're going to do Leading Strike. Now we're just going to focus on Bob over here. And I think he did suffer from internal bleeding over there. And he's got 3 debuffs. I'm going to have Iron Man do the AoE. As you can see, misses are implemented because they missed Captain America over there. More internal bleeding. Let's throw out a shield throw for some AoE. And we locked up on a hand grenade. Bob has betrayed us. It was a good fight so far. Alright, let's jump back in. So, you can't go down from 1 to the top of the list, so we'll go 4. Let's do everything as 4s on this. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. And we get... oh my god. This is... yeah. This is not going to look good for our team of 3 black hats over here. We're going to have to focus somebody down, and I think we will just... we're going to stack ridiculous bleeds on Abomination. And then we're going to try and nerve chop him. So, little known fact, in case you guys don't remember, back in the days of Night America, Black Cat was actually a temporary goddess. What was happening was that her dice ability over here with Night America had no cooldown. So she could spam it and give herself absolutely ridiculous stacks. And she could just sit there and do it 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 and do it. And if she then nerve chopped somebody who was bleeding, the damage was an absolute one-shot. And had that gone into effect on a group boss, that might have been amazing. So I remember that suspended animation. If I remember correctly, he's going to sit there and heal. I missed him. I didn't want to... Everybody's fat in this battle over here on the enemy side, so it's hard to get to Abomination. There we go. Stacking some more bleeds on him. Here comes Ironclad. Woo! Hefty punch. Might be able to... Alright, here it is. So here is the... I can't tell. Stroke of luck. And then the nerve chop. And this is when she was teamed with Night America. It was absolutely broken. Decent damage. Not the Black Cat of old. But remember, she's got no ISOs or anything. And I would say we were overall losing the fight. Can't tell which Black Cat this is. Okay, so it's the top one. However, I think we're about ready to kill Abomination pretty soon here. I could probably leave him alone and he'd bleed out. I'm not too sure where the... Oh yeah, I did hit the power armor once. And the power armor and Abomination get to live. We've locked up. I didn't look at the fight number in that one. I do apologize. So, let's go for Hero 12. Let's do 12, 13, 14. And Encounter 15 if one exists. Okay, so 12, 13, 14, 15. Hey, new people! So this is Fight in 15. We have Invisible Woman, Iron Fist, and Kitty Pryde. I feel like Invisible Woman and Iron Fist would have been a very douchey defensive team back in the day. It'd be just so... especially with that air pressure ISO from Invisible Woman. Except you'd have no real offense. Maybe the agent would do all the work, but very defensive. So this is the first time I've seen Kitty Pryde in any of the alpha builds. And Iron Fist abilities are back in the right order. He did get 4 debuffs, but I honestly forget what they are. Maybe combo setup. I don't remember. This kick was also pretty strong. Shadow kick was pretty good back in the day. We don't want to force cage. Not too sure why I can't shield yet. I would think shield was available right at the beginning of the game. Or right at the beginning of the match. Maybe in this build just some buffs are not on. Or on a weird cooldown. Ow! My god. Iron Fist got smoked. I wonder if she'll get phased. Nope, phasing does not seem to be implemented. However, we have the shield. And we have a crash. So Iron Fist was so pissed off that he died, he took his ball and went home. Good guy, then. Give it him. Alright, so let's try 10, 11, 12, and 13. And we'll do... Oh, alright, so we have Invisible Woman, Hulk, and Human Torch against Whiplash. I feel this should definitely be a match in our favor. See, whenever I see this icon, am I the only one who is reminded of those Hulk hands that you would get in stores like Walmart? I think they had sound on them. They made like Hulk smash sounds. You put them on your hands and they were these big plastic Hulk hands and everything. That's what this icon looks like to me whenever I see it. And Rage Punch was maybe not always the most damaging ability in the game, but it was one of the more satisfying melee abilities. To me, Psylocke's sword strikes were very satisfying. A lot of the sword strikes from Sif just felt good to do, and Hulk's melee always felt good to me. Like, you could feel that ability, the way the sound would go on it. Alright, so we're gonna do Big Hulk Smash. Pretty good damage. However, Whiplash is not on fire. Don't know why he's not... Oof! Human Torch. The big kill. Alright, so let's do 6, 7. So this will be the last fight over here. 8. And we'll do encounter 9. And then we will consider this a wrap-up. I don't think I've even ever asked Goofy for the list of who is who and what encounters are what. That would be an interesting list. Aha! Original Cyclops, Colossus, and Daredevil. And again, that's another... So, yeah, I would think this ability was available right at the beginning of the game, but it's not. So, I believe this ability caused... Alright, maybe it's the beam. I think the beam caused flanked. Yeah, Radar Sense not available. Logan. With Wolverine... Oh my god. I was just about ready to comment upon Viper in the Logan movie, but apparently Viper just destroyed Daredevil over here. See, like, Colossus' Steel Fist don't have the impact that Hulk's level 1 does. Like, you would think there would be a really good clang for Colossus using that ability, especially if he hit, you know, if they were ultra realistic and he hit like power armor. You think you'd hear this giant like clang clang, but it's just a whoo whoo. It's just a whiff sound. Colossus is... That's why I've never liked Colossus that much in this game. He was too vanilla for me. Alright, that was a decent shot. That wasn't too bad. Although, I wonder if he beats up Viper enough and her top falls down, if he's going to be like, oh, I'm sorry. Your boobs are hanging out. Steel curtain. Oof, well, the shoulder lift worked. Alright, let's just do one more. Let's see if we can jack these numbers up really, really high. 20... 21, do 22, 23, and we'll do encounter 22. We'll mess up the order just a little bit. Alright. Who do we have here? Oh god. Oh, I have walked into the fourth portal of hell. So this is encounter 22, and this is... Ugh. This is almost like a rogues gallery of some of the worst original characters in Marvel Avengers Alliance. I mean, I'll be honest, I've always liked Sif. Her abilities felt good, and she always had, I think, the best legs in the game. And Spider-Woman had the best ass in the game during her abilities, but this is a very weak lineup. This team might get its ass kicked. Yeah. Let's get some poison out. See, the quick action's not available. Let's do, I think this was Leaping Strike? Yep, Leaping Slash. Believe it or not, I kept my Sif uniform list for many, many years. I just liked the vanilla uniform more than the movie one. Because of the legs. I admit it. So, Spider-Woman, as we wrap up the video, you guys remember the giant controversy that happened with Spider-Woman, that there was a cover where she was like, wow, Sif just destroyed. Okay. That was an unexpected outcome. Spider-Woman was animated as walking down a wall, and it was like a very butt pose, and everybody was like, oh my god, I can't believe this, so sexist, blah blah blah, this cover is awful. And then people dug up a Spider-Man cover where Spider-Man was exactly in the same pose, and it was like, so what are we complaining about? I just thought that was funny. Alright, so there you go, guys. There's Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux, which is build .0002. We got to do several fights. A bunch of them went to completion, some of them crashed, but that is to be expected. And again, this is not what the interface is going to look like when it goes live. Those hero selectors will not be there. This build was originally crashing on me, and we discovered it was missing the PNG file for that fist over there, because the fist are the selectors, so you couldn't get this far with a missing graphic, and Goofy fixed it. No, people are not going to install the game and see that silver and that gold and those shield points or that level. Again, it'll be back at square zero as if you were, starting it back in 2012, the first day that you played it on Facebook. Betas will have the original characters available when the beta goes out, and then when it goes live, it will have the characters that we ended the game with. The community has worked on several other heroes and villains, and there is going to be a council of people who will decide, what gets in from the community, just to ensure quality. And a lot of people ask and talk about, well, what if we bring DC people in, or what if we bring M. Bison from Street Fighter 2 as the boss? Like, we could do abilities for that, like, let's make his level 6 Soul Crusher, and his level 5, the hop, skip, jump, kick move. I personally do not want that in this game. I don't want Marvel Avengers Alliance, the Mugen edition. Like, I don't want Ronald McDonald fighting Burger King in this game. I want it to stick straightly, just completely with Marvel. But there's definitely a lot of people that I hope I would see. The Runaways, I thought it was a really good series. I finally finished season 1, liked the series the whole way through. I would like to maybe see some more Runaways pop up, although, Gert, I don't even know what you could do with Gert and abilities and everything, because Old Lace in the game belongs to Chase. So, somebody recently brought up Dino Girl, I think her name is. That I thought would be a fun addition to this, because I think she would get some very interesting team-ups with Chase. Good team bonuses there. But I've seen some art for the Stepford Cuckoos, of course, from Gifted. That would be interesting. Everybody, of course, would like Silver Surfer. Everybody wants Namor. And as one of the good things about this game is that we're not tied to licensing or the whims of Playdom. If the community codes it and comes up with proper abilities and they're balanced, they're not OP or horribly underpowered, and we get the art, and we have people who draw the icons and draw, cutscene characters and everything, then we can put it in this game. It just all depends on if we have artists good enough for that kind of stuff. It's very easy to say, well, I want Silver Surfer. But there's more to that. You have to decide on his abilities. You have to decide on his class. You have to legitimately give him the proper stats. Like, maybe he'd have very high attack, but then very low stamina. Or very high attack, but then low accuracy. Would he be a blaster? Would he be a generalist? All of those things are the ones that the council needs to go through, and I just want to see like legit above the table submissions for characters in this game. I just would hate to see really crazy stuff like, oh, let's put in Professor X finally. Let's get Professor X in there. I don't even know fully what kind of a kit you would give him. I mean, possessed could be one. A stun, like in the movies when he gets in somebody's mind and everything in the world around them is just stuck. So maybe like a mental stun and everything. But again, rabbit holing, getting sidetracked. Actually, Professor X could potentially be done. He would just, honestly, I think it would have like low hit points and low defense and evasion. Evasion maybe you could give him because maybe he could psychically make people miss, but yeah, like how would you even stat Professor X? Anyway, that's this video. Here's the version that came out last weekend. I just want to space out the videos properly. Hope you guys are still excited, and hopefully we'll be maybe getting some open betas out to the public in a month or so. Until then, stay tuned as I go through these builds and show you the progress. Peace out, everybody.